Welcome to the first of many tutorials on how to speedrun GTA 5. I'm your host, Antonio. While watching this video, you are going to learn the basic route for the segment Trevor %, as well as some alternative faster strats. For even faster strats, though more advanced and sometimes inconsistent, we are going to have a separate video that will be linked in the description. Before starting your speedrun career, some observations to be aware of. This tutorial is made on patch 1.27, and during the run we are going to change the FPS a few times. We use a program called Project 1.27 to reach the older patch, a software available in the GTA 5 speedrunning Discord, and to change FPS, we use RiverTuner Statistics Server. A video showing how to set up the game settings, patch 1.27, RiverTuner, and a couple other helpful softwares is going to be available in the description. For console and current patch runners, including GTA 5 Enhanced, some strats are not going to be available for you. For this, we recommend you to visit the GTA 5 speedrunning Discord to ask for help. Don't worry about asking stupid questions because someone will still help you. I promise, we don't bite. Once we have control of Michael, we're going to start the run by going into cover. This will move you faster to the door.
Hands behind your back. Come on, mister. We're giving you everything you want. Don't even think about it.
I'll do it. Oh, God.
Get in there. Sit tight. I'll handle
The order of who you aim at first is important. Aim to the white shirt guy's knee and wait for Michael to start saying, "Don't blow yourself up." Then aim for the guard, and lastly to the guy in the back.
Get in there. Sit tight. I'll handle the blasting. Don't blow yourself up. Pay attention. In the back. Come on. He's gonna kill us. Hurry.
Once Trevor appears on the map, start spamming the up arrow and enter. This will pull up the phone and detonate the bomb as soon as possible. Run and jump in first person to go a bit faster to the vault, but be aware that you don't have side-to-side control while in the air. After the cutscene, switch to third person and jump towards Trevor.
What's the holdup? Coming out, B. Give it up. I got him.
Start spamming switch to Trevor, and when the switch finishes, hold aim and kill the guard.
Make sure this is one of them. I've seen his eyes. He's crazy.
Now, pay attention to the pistol that the guard dropped. You're going to pick that up and use it to quickly reload your gun. Every time you switch guns, you get full ammo in both, skipping the reload animation. The metal door in the next room only opens if Brad is not speaking. So, if we go fast enough, we can save a few seconds here. Aim your camera, hold W and shift, and spam jump. If you jump in front of Michael, he will push you to the button, and if you do this correctly, you're able to activate the button and start the opening of the door before Brad starts speaking. This tech is very tricky, but with a little bit of practice, you should be able to get it more frequently. Plus, trying it does not waste any time.
Oh, fuck. You hear that? Sirens.
Aim and kill the NPCs from the first car.
Resistance. It ain't supposed to go down like
For the second and third vehicles, you want to aim first to the passenger and then to the driver. And the last two cops on foot you can kill in any order. Be aware they might get hit by one of the driving cars and fly into a weird location. Once everyone is dead, the next two sets of cars are going to storm in, however you only need to kill the guards from the first car and leave the next two cars after that for your allies to kill. This is the first place we see an instance of tab movement, where you spam tab to pull out and put away your weapon. This increases your movement speed every time you are in combat. The last cop car is going to turn in. Kill both of the cars. Then, the last two vehicles will spawn. While walking in the direction of the getaway car, kill all three remaining guards, then spam F to enter the vehicle and start the cutscene. While driving to the yellow dot, keep driving on the right side of the road in order to skip triggers that will slow down your vehicle.
the train. We're getting there. Cops coming our way. Be cool. They ain't made this car yet. Man, I'll believe in this.
For beginners, we recommend you to just drive into the trigger for the cutscene. If you want to improve your time on Prologue, you can do the train skip. Train skip is a strat that allows us to start the cutscene and fail at the same time, because the checkpoint is set to a point of the mission where the cutscene is already over, so we essentially just skipped the unskippable cutscene. To do the train skip, stop and exit the vehicle. Shoot the area of the gas tank 3 times. Petrol is going to start pouring out. Now, enter the vehicle, set your FPS to 30, and dive out while driving past the trigger zone of the cutscene.
We'll last 2 minutes in the snow.
Go back to your car, align Michael's back with the door, aim to the line of the spilling out petrol, shoot it, and then enter the car and hold forward and shift. If you did everything correctly, after pressing to retry on the mission fail screen, you should be on the shootout with Trevor. If you failed and got the train cutscene, it means you entered the car too fast or shot the petrol too far away from the car. If you got sent back to the drive again, you went too slow or shot the petrol too close to the car. If the mission fail says car abandoned, it is because you stayed out of the car for over 11 seconds. If you get the train cutscene during the mission fail screen, congratulations, you just got the pixel perfect version of train skip that actually saves time. In the shootout with Trevor, hold Shift, S, and D to quickly run away from the enemies and go to the last 2 unskippable cutscenes. And with that said, congratulations, Prologue is over. Alright, now that we're past Prologue, we can finally start skipping cutscenes. Next up is Franklin and Lamar. Skip the cutscene with Michael speaking to Dr. Friedlander and start running to the first car. You can save a bit of time by clicking Q and then F to make Franklin take cover before entering. Here, the 9F is faster than the Rapid GT, but since we're bound by Lamar's position anyway, we take the Rapid GT since it is closer at the beginning so we can trigger the cutscene faster. Start driving immediately to your left. We want to move the camera down for a moment to make one of the 2 vehicles of the traffic ahead despawn, which would otherwise block you. Slow down a bit while taking a turn to the right, following up towards the hill, also avoiding the bushes. Bushes in this game like to make you spin and lose control, so try to avoid them whenever you can. Keep the acceleration going so you can stay in front of Lamar and try to stay in the middle of the yellow line. Be ready now, because Lamar is going to push you and you might lose control of your car if you're not in front of him. The game now grants you Franklin's ability. Franklin's ability increases your handling, pulls your car to the ground, and slows down the game. Every time you use Franklin's ability, Lamar loses a bit of speed. Because of the alternative route we take, this can sometimes cause a mission fail for leaving Lamar behind, so try and only use power and brake boosts in this mission exactly where we do. Speaking of brake boosts, that's another strat that you're going to be doing a lot while speedrunning this game. Brake boosting is a driving tech that gives your vehicle a boost of speed by braking the moment your vehicle does an elevation change, such as driving over potholes and different bumps in the road. While holding acceleration, as the front of your car reaches the crest of a bump, you press and release the brake. If you succeed, you will see and hear skid marks going out of your car and your speed will increase. This increase in speed from successful brake boosting can be combined with Franklin's ability to give a huge boost in speed known as a powered brake boost. Be aware, this is a skill that takes time to learn and relies heavily on feeling. The inputs are available on the screen if you're having issues understanding how to do it, and we will also point out when they are done with a little text blip. Also, a few tutorials are going to be linked in the description so you can learn more about brake boosting. Slow down to take a turn to the right entering the movie studio. Note that we don't use any power on this turn to let Lamar catch up. Avoid the random NPCs and turn left exiting the movie studio, watching out for the 2 cars whose movement is random because of traffic lights. Some other traffic in this mission is scripted and tied to Lamar's movement, like this semi-truck, so you can use these cars as a reference of how fast you are going. Over these 3 bumps, we use air control for the first time. Whenever getting airtime in a car, landing on your back wheels gives you a small speed boost, but on the third bump, we just use power to keep our car close to the ground as we have a turn coming up. Follow the general route you see here, avoiding the traffic.
Hey, be careful!
Finish the race, and we are now going to escape the police. Start by making a right turn after exiting the parking lot by tapping your power and outdistancing the cops using the route we do here, so that your wanted stars start flashing. Half the cops in this mission are scripted, but others are random. Wait a little bit next to the park to draw the cops to that location and pay attention to the minimap before driving to Simeon's. Depending on where cops spawn, you can either drive through the alley and park on the west side of Simeon's garage, otherwise you can just keep going, turn right, and park next to the south entrance of his garage. Do not get too close to the actual entrance, or you will fail the mission for bringing the cops to Simeon. After exiting the vehicle, spam either the Franklin switch key or the switch wheel button to stop Jimmy from talking while walking backwards out of the car dealership. Once outside, you can stop spamming to let Jimmy finish his dialogue, but Simeon's dialogue should get skipped, saving a few seconds. Jump twice in third person, and once outside, switch to first person and run to your vehicle. Before entering any vehicle, change the camera to third person as the animations are faster and are better for movement in general. You will only want to be in first person a few instances that you will see by watching this tutorial or other speedruns. While Lamar is going into the car, call emergency services. Pay attention on how we gained speed by pressing the handbrake. This is a mid-drive, a driving technique that we will go into more details on at the start of the mission Repossession. When you get close to Franklin's house, on top of the sidewalk, cancel the call. This will skip some obligatory dialogue from Lamar, ending the mission faster.
What's up? Can a low come up in your...
Exit Franklin's house and run to the garage. Since you should have jump script active, you can jump during the mission passed screen. Once reaching the driveway, run in first person. There is a lineup here to be able to spam F as you run into the garage door mid-opening in order to warp into Franklin's car. You will know if you succeeded, as Franklin will keep running forward a few steps even when you stop inputs. If you fail, just go back a little bit to open the garage door and enter your vehicle in first person. Be aware that the next mission requires a call from Simeon, so be ready to accept the call. Due to this, if you fail the garage warp, make sure not to hold shift when getting into the car, as this will prevent the phone call. Once the call is accepted, you can immediately close it. Then drive to Simeon. When arriving at Simeon, run inside, punch to move you forward, and after triggering Simeon, switch to third person.
Hey, what's up, Simeon?
Jump twice to exit the interior and run close to the orange car to speed up Lamar and enter the bullet.
And you still rolling with that old raggedy ass hair? That country bumpkin shit is enough to get us shot right there.
To start this drive, we are going to make use of a mid-drive. This is an advanced driving technique that gives you extra speed at the start of drives. Just as you shift from second to third gear, release W, tap space, and immediately hold W again. If you did everything correctly, you will hear an increased engine noise similar to a burnout, and extra speed will be applied. You can tap power once you start accelerated again to get an even bigger boost of speed. A more detailed video explaining mid-drives will be linked in the description. There is also a bug on this mission where you cannot hear your engine for the first 5 seconds after getting the bullet, so pay attention to where on the map we perform the mid-drive. Slow down before these barricades so you don't flip your car, and then do the stunt jump. During the stunt jump, scroll up to skip the forced slowdown.
Now it's all starting to make sense.
Try to park as close as possible to the gate, but turn your car around so Lamar can be closer to the gate. Now you have two options. You can just push Lamar, which is the more consistent way,
Think this crazy motherfucker wants something. Hey, what's up, homie? You alright?
No, away from me! Zappo agents!
Yeah, you thought I was gonna hit your bitch ass, huh? Drunk ass.
After getting past the green truck, just run straight to the garage so that extra dialogue doesn't play.
Bitch.
Man, I don't like this shit one bit.
Or, the slightly inconsistent but faster way is running into his back and spamming W and Shift in a consistent rhythm. The higher FPS you have, the further Lamar will go per push and the more time you save, but it is not even worth attempting if you have under 120 FPS. It is worth noting that this strat is very difficult and kind of inconsistent even with lots of practice. Be careful to not launch Lamar into the green truck, as his AI can break and fail the mission. Once you arrive at the garage, try punching Lamar so the dialogue can be skipped. Since the game won't let you punch an ally, make sure to start punching behind him to get enough momentum. Once the shootout starts, grab the pistol, shoot the first guy on the right, and jump over the small wall to your left. This will force all the enemies to spawn. First shoot the lower balcony enemy, then the higher balcony enemy, and finally the gas tank. Be aware of your map, as sometimes 2 enemies can spawn at the beginning instead of 1, and the second can kill you quickly if you try to run past him. Run forward and shoot all the remaining enemies. Once you kill the last enemies, wait 2 seconds, about the amount of time to reload your gun, and then start running with tab movement. This will make sure you don't get too far from Lamar, as the mission requires you to be close to him to progress. Run to the right, through this alleyway, and be ready to shoot the biker. Ideally, you would shoot the biker when he is close to you, so you can take the bike before it falls all the way over, saving a couple seconds. Once you take the bike, follow the route and keep doing wheelies, as this increases the speed of a few bikes, including Franklin's bagger. Or, you can lean forward. You won't gain as much speed, but it is a lot safer for beginners learning to dodge traffic. Before arriving at the yellow dot, dive out in the direction of the yellow dot in order to skip an animation and some dialogue. If you parked the bullet correctly in Repossession, you should now have the bullet in front of you. Take it and drive to Tanya. When close to Tanya, tap your power and hit the pole and exit your car. This will skip her dialogue and immediately start the cutscene.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Tanya?
Ain't nothing wrong with
Hey, look, let's make this quick. I got shit to do.
Nigga, you need to slow it down. Tanisha was...
Listen to Tanya's dialogue. You don't want her to finish saying, "You need to slow it down." Tanisha was right. While driving to the parking lot, keep occasionally tapping power to keep delaying this dialogue. Once in the parking lot, park your car with the passenger door close to the passenger door of the truck, so Tanya can get into the truck faster.
Homie.
If you manipulated the dialogue correctly, Tanya should say, "There's JB's truck. Let's go bring the cha-ching, homie." While driving, lower the hook to get it ready to tow the vehicle. Power where we do to sync it up with the gear shifts and get this tow truck to really start moving. If you failed the dialogue manip earlier, only power where we do, as we need to let Franklin and Tanya's entire conversation finish before the car will spawn.
Yo,
Now that we have the car, we are going to use a tech called 99% acceleration. With some cars, having the throttle at 99% will mean the car will never get past first gear, which surprisingly makes it go faster, as the car will continue accelerating and never slow down. A tutorial to how to set this up will be linked in the description. On this drive back, try not to make hard turns or excessively power, or the car we are towing is going to go flying and easily lose 10 seconds or more. You can drop the car while entering the lot, making it slide into the zone while you turn in direction to the bullet. You can also make the car hit the back of the tow truck hard enough to interrupt the dialogue and save a few seconds. While entering the bullet and the mission is ending, pull up your phone, go into the settings, and leave Profile ready to be selected. Once Tanya appears as an added contact, select Profile. The mission passed screen is going to close the phone, but this trick will skip some forced tutorial explaining sleep mode, allowing us to activate it later without issues. Sleep mode allows the game to skip some useless calls and random events that are unimportant to the story, meaning that we can get the texts that we want faster. After exiting the impound lot, quickly pause the game, go into the mission replay menu, and press enter to start Prologue. However, when the confirmation screen appears, press no. This is the setup for a glitch that we are going to make use of in a few missions. This glitch is called a replay warp. We'll go more into details when we make use of it, but just keep in mind that the glitch is now set up and ready to be triggered. If we ever say to set up a replay warp, just repeat the same process again. Drive in this direction towards Franklin's house, but remember that you are outside a mission, so too much speed can be deadly. However, if you manage to get enough speed from brake boosts and mid-drives, you can take advantage of the small hill to fly over the fence and into the trigger for the mission. If you are not fast enough, slow down and slide on the fence in order to trigger the mission, but watch out for the corner between the two houses where a breakable fence turns into an indestructible one, as it is very easy to die here. We need to get away from Lamar so we are able to run, so take cover on this wall. If you are still not able to run, get into cover on the next red wall. Now that you are running, go into first person and push this cart to the white van. Once you get to the van, going into third person and aiming can help you more precisely position the cart. We are going to position this cart in a way that blocks Lamar's path, making the game panic and teleporting him inside the van. Try placing it similar to what you see here. The cart should be pressed against the van, with the handle of the cart aligned with the door handle.
You driving.
Do a U-turn off the tree and follow this route. Pay attention to when you use Franklin's power on this drive, as we need a specific amount of dialogue to pass to progress the mission. Specifically, we are waiting for Franklin to say, "You're annoying ass."
Y'all got a lot in common. Yo annoying ass.
Man, I'm carrying both of y'all asses, homie. Look what I set up.
Hey, why we doing this, dog?
Man, cuz we supplementing our income.
More like supplementing the drama in our lives.
I've been told he up in the alley.
Hey, what's up, boo? Hey.
For this chase, you have two options. The safest option for beginners is to just follow D.
He on a bike, man. We ain't gonna catch him. Give me a break, guys.
Just drive, boom.
Hold on, Chuck. God damn. What the fuck you say something for? We could have creeped up on this.
When you arrive in front of the hospital, shoot in the direction of the alley to spook any random NPCs that will be blocking your path. Drive through the alley, down the stairs, and start calling a taxi to block Lamar from talking. Once you are at the end of the chase and D arrives, the cutscene will start.
this shit, dog. We chasing another motherfucker on a motorcycle.
The next option is for people that want to start gaining a bit more free time.
Go, get in the van.
Start by doing a powered mid-drive at this intersection.
Man, motherfucker.
Be aware that in this route you are going to need a lot of speed, so pay attention to brake boosting and letting the dialogue between Franklin and Lamar play. Once you reach the front of the hospital, call a taxi so that the dialogue of Lamar can be interrupted, as we need him to shut up so the game can activate the cutscene. If you notice that the call is still dialing and not connected, the current dialogue needs to finish playing. So from this point, if you ever need to power, leave it on for a second to not delay the dialogue. Conversely, if the call connects earlier than you expect, quickly blip your power in order to make sure the call does not hang up before you get to where you need to go.
Bumpy chop.
Park on top of the arrows, get out of the car, put your phone down, and run towards D. If you got everything correctly, the cutscene will start as he passes you. However, if you failed, just go back to the van and drive to the end of the chase.
Go bite his ass. Get that motherfucker chop.
Run in first person after D.
Long as you don't kill him, you can eat a big chunk out this bitch.
Jump over the fence. Instead of following D, follow the path that you are watching here.
Not the pooch, okay?
Jumping over the train car coupling, and keeping on going until you get to where the ending cutscene is. Now that Chop is with us and we need him to finish the mission, be aware that you need to lock your FPS to 150 or lower because dogs in this game will break if you have an FPS of anything above 150. Keep this the FPS until the start of the mission complications. Aim at the right leg of Chop and push him. If he is looking in a direction that you can't push correctly, or if he starts walking, let him get into a better position and try again. Ideally, for the first push, you will start as soon as Chop stops sprinting.
He hiding in that train, boy.
For the other two, you want to try and start pushing him once he switches from his fast walk to his slow walk, but before he puts his nose down to sniff. Once he is past the first set of boxcars, shoot the brown dog, skipping a cutscene. Give a little more push if necessary to get the final boxcar triggers to appear, but make sure not to go past the water tower, otherwise you may soft lock the game. Run to where D is hiding, then open the van in first person to prevent Franklin from doing a dumb walking in circles animation. Here, we set up what is called a buffered ledge grab, or ledge buffer for short. We will go into more details when we use it in the next mission, but by taking cover, pulling out the phone, and attempting to climb over the object we are taking cover on, we have now set up the glitch.
It's time, boy. Get his ass.
Start this final drive by not using power, as the drive only ends when the dialogue is over.
He gonna be a lost cause like you, dog.
We gonna stash this dude in my spot.
We going back to your crib? I've been there when you was in diapers.
Shut up, man. You ain't recognized.
The only moment that you are able to use power without interrupting dialogue is when you are hearing the phone dialing sounds. So if you are at a good speed, you should hear the phone sound happen in a good moment around the curve where you can use Franklin's power.
Be quiet. I gotta make a call.
However, if you need to use Franklin's power for other reasons, as mentioned earlier, hold the power for a second to not let the dialogue be delayed. Don't drive to the yellow dot. Instead, drive to this point on the map, and once the first set of dialogue and the cutscene play, the mission will immediately finish.
Give me that damn phone. What the fuck? Oh, you owe me a bike too, you motherfucker.
Alright, motherfucker.
You the mother.
Now, to get to complications, make a U-turn and drive to Simeon. Park against this tree, and as you exit the car, spam the take cover button to enter and exit cover. What you just watched was a ledge buffer. Ledge buffer is a glitch that allows us to save a ledge climbing animation and use it later. Before using ledge buffer, you need to rebind the jump and phone special option button so they are not on the same key, otherwise this glitch won't work. To set up a ledge buffer, take cover on something that you can climb. While holding your phone up, press W and jump. Your character will walk away from the cover. Keep the phone up, and when you want to activate the glitch, just stop running or stay still, and put your phone down. You can also enter cover, put your phone down, and then leave cover, and that is the only way to perform this glitch on latest patch. To keep this glitch working after driving a vehicle, you need to immediately get in cover after leaving your vehicle, pull the phone up, and then get out of cover. Or just immediately exit the cover with your phone down to immediately trigger the animation. Note that most times, it is impossible to carry this glitch through missions and cutscenes, as most times the phone is forced down. However, sometimes the game puts you into a vehicle directly after the mission, so the glitch will persist, as is the case here. The distance and how far you launch by the animation is affected by FPS. This is why we told you to keep the FPS at 150 from chop until the start of complications, since we are going to need it now. Since we set up the ledge buffer in one of the train cars in chop, we are now going to activate it to enter the mission complications a bit faster. But if you're having trouble with this, it's fine to just park your van as close as possible and walk into the mission. If you do this, go behind Simeon to skip a couple dialogue lines. A quick warning, while skipping this cutscene, switch your FPS to anything below 120. If you have anything higher than this, you risk getting a mission fail as the car that Simeon is presenting is broken and will slide into him, interrupting the mission. Most runners choose to set it to 60, as this is an FPS cap we already have, and this also means you're able to power without breaking things. Start by making a right turn. And as a last reminder, pay attention to where the runner goes and where he does brake boosts. Jump over the wall and switch to first person, as it makes it easier to jump over the grass hedge.
This is just 'cause you have a massive gaper, bitch.
Fucking homo, you're dead. Dad! He said I had a massive...
While going out of the bathroom, as soon as you get past the door, enter stealth mode and hold W. If you don't start walking fast, a quick shift tap should fix it. Once you arrive at the stairs, you are free to sprint. Enter Michael's garage, switch to third person and enter the vehicle. Press F immediately, as instead of exiting the vehicle, this will trigger Michael's cutscene earlier, as we need his dialogue to be over before arriving at Simeon's dealership. Try not to hit anything on this drive, as this will interrupt the dialogue. The harder part of this drive though is the vehicle, as it has very broken physics, is hard to control, and will flip upside down just by breathing next to it. Plus you're unable to use Franklin's power on this drive. Follow the path the runner is doing to Simeon.
Dude, I just worked the fucking repo.
I appreciate a kid who follows orders without taking responsibility. Yeah, maybe one day we'll have a beer, and I'll explain how the world really works. Who gives you the slip?
A car dealer.
When arriving at the yellow dot, slow down, otherwise the vehicle is going to slide forward over the yellow dot and place you on the other side of the road, losing time.
Me and Mr. Yetarian, we'll work this out.
That the place?
Yeah, this the.
Let's go.
For this fight, we want to do quick punches, as they are the fastest way to cause the damage necessary. You want to keep Simeon in front of Michael, hold Shift and W, and spam just the punch button. If done correctly, you always will do the quick punch animation. If you're having issues with quick punches, you can also do quick kicks. First, press right click so the game locks the camera onto Simeon, then press Q to kick. Once he's down, you can just hold Shift and W and spam the quick punch button.
I won't be treated like. You think you could take me for a ride? You recognize?
Even before the mission passed screen appears, the game has already made an autosave. We are going to use this for two glitches at the same time, the replay warp and the save warp. When you make a save, if you load it and hold the switch button for a character that is not the one you made the save with, you will warp to the safe house of the character that you made the save. In this case, we are Michael, and we can switch to Franklin. So if I made a save, I load it and hold the Franklin switch key, and so Michael will be warped to his safe house. However, if you do this with an autosave, because of how Rockstar made the autosave system, the game will force a switch animation before warping Michael to his house.
Next week.
Keep this in mind. Remember when we set up the replay warp way back in the run, right after pulling favors? Now we're going to use it to actually trigger the replay warp. A replay warp is a glitch that allows us to save the position and the vehicle we are in when we set it up. It'll warp us back to the same position and vehicle by using the mission replay and save system. By going into the menu to start a mission replay and pressing no in the confirmation screen, we've now saved our position and our vehicle. The next time we manually save the game and load it, or load an autosave, the game is going to move your character to the position and the vehicle that you saved. There's a few more details about replay warp that I'm leaving out, so if you want deeper details, watch the video linked in the description. By doing both of these glitches at the same time, we don't need to waste time pulling the phone up and making a manual save. We can just load the autosave. The autosave is going to place us inside the vehicle because of the replay warp, and this will be instead of forcing the long switch animation. But since we are holding the Franklin switch key, the game will also activate the save warp, moving Michael to his house once the load finishes. Once you arrive at Michael's house, skip the cutscene and run around the mission trigger up the side of the stairs to enter the house via the front door. The reason for this is that entering the mission directly will cause a slow cutscene of Michael entering his house. Start by running in a circular way against the right wall, because we want to gain a bit of distance from Franklin so he starts running. Enter through the passenger door and hold W so Michael doesn't close the door behind him. Wait for Franklin to enter and then follow the yellow route.
I'll do what I can to help with that, man.
Lesson number 1. Don't ever have kids.
Hey, man, look, if I had kids, I don't think no parenting issues would arise over who had both privileges and who don't. Shit, motherfuckers would be lucky to sit in the bathtub.
Shit, things that desperate, huh?
Nah, but, you know, shit, I was making a point.
Pathologizing self-deprecation. I know it well.
Yeah, man, but shit, where the boat at?
Little shit's been hijacked. They're somewhere on the Western Highway.
Man, ain't you worried?
About my boat? Yeah, I am.
But you can always buy another boat.
For this turn, you want to control your speed. You want to go fast enough to get as close as possible for the boat, but at the same time make sure to not skid out your car during the turn. If you get close enough, Franklin will immediately start climbing onto the hood of the car. But if not, just hold W and get as close to the truck as fast as possible.
Oh, there it is. That's my boat.
Once Franklin is on top of the hood of the car, keep your speed behind the boat and let him jump onto the boat. Follow the truck, and after he exits the tunnel, pay attention to the inputs on screen. While every single car in this mission is scripted, you want to control your speed so the rubber banding of the truck slows it down. If you rubber band the boat too quickly, you will pass the fastest highway exit, losing time. However, the boat animations will only trigger if you're close enough, so going too slowly will delay them, also losing time. The first guy is going to be thrown off by Franklin, but be careful with his body as it has physics and can collide with your car. Once the second enemy appears, you can hold aim and immediately shoot him 1 or 2 times. Once you see blood splatter, that means you killed him. However, he will not actually die until he is scripted to a couple seconds later. Control your speed here so that the truck also slows down. Once Jimmy gets hit by the flag, a third guy is going to show up. Be ready to shoot him while also immediately accelerating the car to get underneath Jimmy. If you're able to grab Jimmy in 4 seconds after shooting the guy, Franklin will get up the boat a bit faster, saving around 5 seconds or more if he falls down. Once Jimmy is with you, slow down your speed a bit to get the boat to slow down as well and wait for Franklin to start climbing off the back. When Franklin starts saying, start accelerating again and keep the car right behind the back of the boat to grab him. If you managed your speed correctly, you can take the right exit and go straight down the road to LS Customs. If you just barely passed the exit, you can take this small jump from the highway.
What the fuck?
If you got unlucky or went too fast and went into the bridge, on the way back, go on the other side of the road and enter through this broken wall, then go around the pillar through the grass and back to LS Customs. If you went fast enough, Michael will still be complaining to Jimmy about his boat when you get to LSC. The game won't allow you to progress if dialogue is happening, even if you are on the yellow dot. However, we can skip one of these dialogue lines by driving into the yellow dot at a precise time. We position ourselves in a way that all we need is a slight touch of W to trigger the yellow dot. Drive into the yellow dot while the dialogue is still playing until it disappears, and then slowly tap reverse until the yellow dot appears again, so you know you are right there. When Jimmy says, "At least you still got a son," at the end of the word son, tap forward to trigger the cutscene and skipping the dialogue from Franklin, saving around 3 seconds.
Shit in this thing. Hold it together. Ah, my fucking boat.
Hey, it's just a thing. At least you still got a son.
If Franklin starts talking though, reverse off the yellow dot and back onto it. Let the garage door open enough so your car can enter, then scroll your weapon wheel to prevent the driving in cutscene, but know that once you start scrolling the door will start to close again. When inside, crash into this small box on the right, then spam E to open the menu earlier. Repair your vehicle and press escape to exit LS Customs. On patch 1.27, you don't have the confirmation screen, but on a newer patch you will also need to press enter. During the drive back to Michael's house, take this opportunity to pull your phone up and close any messages that you may have, as we will use the phone later.
Franklin, right?
Yeah, Frank. All the credit fraud guy.
Arriving at Michael's house, hit the wall while or before hitting the yellow dot so that Jimmy stops talking. Also make sure that you don't power too closely to the gate, as then the dialogue won't be running and hitting the wall won't do anything. Turn around and run back to Michael's house before the gate closes. Take note of whether or not the gate closes or opens behind you as you're going inside. If the gate is already closed, just jump over the wall like you did in Complications.
No, Yo, so like, since we're both
For the mission Marriage Counseling to spawn, we need to get a bit of distance, so we are going to set up another ledge buffer at this wall. Pay attention to exactly where we are setting it up, because a little more to the left or right can give very different results. Once set up, get into this car. If the gate closed behind you earlier, you need to call Michael and ask to hang out with him. spam the down arrow to skip the dialogue. If the gate opens behind you, just keep your phone up but do nothing. Drop your phone once you are inside the car to receive a message from Jimmy. If you had to hang out with Michael, after receiving this text, call him back to cancel the hangout, otherwise the mission won't spawn. Drive through the alley so you can gain distance to spawn the mission. Park the car close to this gate and exit the vehicle while spamming the cover key. If you did everything correctly, you will fly in the direction of the mission. If not, just get back in the car and drive to Michael's house. For this drive, you can save a bit of time by calling Jimmy to block some of the dialogue, so nobody is talking when you arrive at the yellow dot. Follow this route. Keep your speed, and once you arrive at the hill, you need to aim your vehicle and keep accelerating to go up and over the wall. You don't actually need to be full speed here in order to climb the hill. While speed is important, it is much more beneficial to make sure you are properly set up and able to keep all 4 wheels on the ground the entire way up. Once you touch the yellow dot, the phone will go down automatically.
Big J, aka J-Dog, aka Dangerous J, and I should probably say like Jimmy DeSanta in case this is in relation.
If you fail to gain enough speed, you can quickly try again by reversing back a bit and gaining speed to go up the hill a second time.
The whole thing was kind of self-explanatory, Frank. And what we're about to do won't need much context either.
Shit, let's go coast the shit out of this motherfucker.
Or you can go up the alternative way, which is on the other side of the same hill. Remember to still try and keep the speed, otherwise you will slide back. Be careful, as going too much to the left can trigger a small cutscene that will slow down your vehicle. There is an extra small time save that you may get by luck in this mission. Sometimes, the call to Jimmy will connect earlier than anticipated.
This Big J, aka J.
If this happens, the dialogue will be blocked earlier. For this version, you need to put the phone down manually, a little bit before reaching the yellow dot. And if you arrive at the yellow dot, Michael and Franklin's outfits will change. The important one here is Michael, as he will switch to his default blue suit. The time save of this comes later in friend request.
There's a winch. And we'll see how you like it when someone fucks with your shit.
Enter the vehicle faster by going into cover first.
Here we go.
Keep accelerating to destroy the house. Once the cutscene is over, immediately pull up your phone and keep it up to stop a scripted call. Reverse, and then go down the hill through the destroyed wall. At this point, the game is looking for a place that you are not looking at to spawn the enemies. We can stop this by enabling the look behind camera. You need to hold C, which is the button to look behind, specifically to look behind on foot. Keep your camera aligned with the back of your vehicle and follow the route through the sidewalk. Because of the look behind, you're looking at the 180 degrees behind you, but simultaneously with your camera, looking forward at the 180 degrees in front of you. So if you do it correctly and fast enough, the NPCs aren't going to spawn and you will be able to touch the yellow dot and finish the mission. If they do spawn, just stop. Kill everyone while staying inside the truck and go for the yellow dot. While Michael is talking with Lester, look around and try to find a parked bike. If you see one on the road to your right, you can go for it, but if not, walk towards the road on your left, as this is the direction towards the next mission. You don't want to take Faggio, Chopper, or Bagger because they are incredibly slow. PCJ and Vader are also slow, so only take those bikes as a last resort. If you don't find a parked bike, go down the highway and look around.
Whoa, wait. Hey, how do you... Hello? You fucker.
On the highway, if you don't see a bike, you can look away from incoming traffic and then look back to despawn all the cars and spawn new ones. Before entering a vehicle, while you are still on foot, set up another replay warp. This replay warp will act differently, and the explanation for it will come later after the mission Daddy's Little Girl. Take the bike and drive in direction to Leicester. Don't bring your phone up because a call from Dr. Friedlander is coming. Immediately close it. After this call, a message from Amanda will appear. During this time, another message is coming to Franklin. Manipulating texts and calls in this game is very important, as some missions are locked behind some text. We need to clear all these calls and texts so messages that we want in the future will appear when we want them. Keep doing wheelies to increase the bike's speed, just be careful as you won't be able to do hard turns. You can save some time by driving up the stairs and diving off the bike at the front door. As soon as the door opens, spam jump and phone up. Jumping will skip the forced walking, and putting your phone up will skip some dialogue from Lester, starting the cutscene immediately. Go into first person and try hugging the wall to the left of the door so the door closes faster. For some rockstar reason, you can only run after this specific door closes. While arriving at the clothing store, pull up your phone and call a taxi. The moment the call connects, start going in the direction of the door to the store, and when Michael touches the door, spam the down arrow key to skip the call. This will skip the dialogue from Michael with the store attendant, saving 2 seconds. Get close to the gilets and buy the first one. Then get in cover to go faster to the short section. Move your camera to the door, get in and out of cover again to move faster to the exit. If you got the blue suit with Michael in the mission marriage counseling, the time save comes now, since you will already have shorts and you won't need to buy one. Buy the first vest, but this time on the left side of the clothing rack, and then take cover to get out of the store faster.
I think that might just work. Yup, that's as youthful as you're gonna get. Dignity aside, I think that might just work.
Here, the yellow dot forces you to stop, and we take advantage of this. We try to park with one wheel on the curb, as this will make our bike face the right direction later, but don't go too close to the wall or you will miss the yellow dot entirely. If you get a glitch where you can't get off the bike, hold your character swap button for a second to fix it. Climb over the wall and trigger the cutscene. Follow Ricky.
Evangelist when the big boys vest. Maybe not even tech. I'll evangelize anything, even evangelizing.
On the stairs, hug the wall to go up and down faster.
Hi. Oh, hi. Chill out on the beanbag. Marcus will be right out.
For the pop-ups, focus on closing the ones from the middle of the screen first. If you are fast enough, you can skip 1 or 2 pop-ups and some extra dialogue.
Here you go. If you
Ah, you've been at it on this PC. Got any antivirus software? Scanning.
might I tempt you with some organic chow or a fair trade Java?
And that should do it. Why don't you try and keep things strictly safe for work from now on?
Hey, you should be the bean, dude. Making history, dude. Hey, and we couldn't do it without the little guys.
Goodbye.
Sit. Foot bang, dig back. Ow! Come on, you're gonna have to learn the foot bag if you want to get a job here, okay? Follow me.
Some a-hole drank my effing hemp milk. There was a totally non-passive-aggressive note on it. If I drown in mucus, it's your fault, you illiterate effing thieves.
Make sure you exit through the right door here so that you can jump over the wall. While driving to Michael's house, pull up the phone and clear any texts that are open on it so it does not block you later. In a full run, we would take this moment to store this bike in Michael's garage. But since this is a segment run, it is not useful for us. Just drive through the door with it.
Oh my god, you guys are so...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage.
It's come a long way since we started. My parents pulled off these terrible. Today, you're about to witness a new phase. Full-on, weapons grade, landlord, world domination. You have the ability to apply the deal in public domain, you know everything, we do it in a process. You're now one of the youngest workers in the world. Nowadays, only 14.4 years. That's not just revolutionary. Okay, right here, you're about to make the next step. Prepare to witness the future.
As soon as Jay Norris shows his phone, press up arrow, enter, left arrow, down arrow, and enter again. This will pull the phone up, enter the contact list, jump down the list, and go one more down to get directly to Jay Norris's contact. Once the call connects, watch Jay Norris turn into tomato soup.
The life invader hold on a second. I think someone's trying to dock with me. Hello?
Oh!
Security!
Oh, Jesus! Whoa!
No.
Whoa!
Before the mission passed screen shows up, set your FPS to 60 or lower and start spamming jump. If you hit the correct frame, you are going to jump and skip the forced walking animation. Run to the green wall or fence at the back of Michael's backyard, turn around, and stop running for a second so the call from Lester can come in. As soon as it appears and the call connects, close it, as if you get too close to the mission with the phone still up, it'll despawn the mission. Run to the front of the house to start Daddy's Little Girl. Run in first person down the stairs. And after exiting the house, run a bit forward to this grate so you can gain enough distance for Jimmy to start running. Enter Michael's car and follow the route.
You're lucky to even be allowed out of the house after that boat stunt.
What's the big deal? If anything goes wrong, you can just fake your death and start all over. I'm going gray listening to this crap. Station change. Oh, hella yeah. How am I meant to develop my own moral sensibilities when yours are so unbelievably fuck-faced?
Don't push me.
Seriously, some guys borrow your phone.
Borrow? You were hiding in the head crying kidnapped.
They just took receipt of your property with payment pending.
If it was anything other than what you told me, then that's on you.
All right, they fucking stole it. And who knows what they would have done if they found me. But I didn't expect or want them to get killed.
You think I'm gonna let some guys ride off with my son?
Look, I knew you were a bad guy.
Here you have two choices. The easy and recommended one for beginners is taking the race bike. Holding W and space and finishing the race as fast as possible. Control your stamina here by slowly spamming caps lock. The other way is a bit harder, but saves time, which is taking the BMX and doing bunny hops. Position yourself, hold W, shift, and spam space, trying to always land on the front wheel. You can press A and D to try and control the direction you are going. Try not to hit the NPCs as it will slow you down. This method may lose more time, but on the bright side, if everything goes well, you're gonna gain more time than the race bike. Plus, in my opinion, bunny hops are more fun. And what's the point of playing the game if you're not gonna have fun? Run forward and before jumping, look away from the boat. Pay attention to the minimap. When you swim at this position, look forward. If you are lucky, you will get a boat to spawn in front of you. Most of the time, it will be a squallow or a speedboat. If you are unlucky, it is going to be the Marquise, a sailboat, which is so slow that you should just ignore it and keep swimming to the yacht. If you get a squallow, don't try to immediately press F, or the driver is going to speed away from you. Get close, climb on the boat, and then press F so Michael can immediately remove the driver. Then just sail the boat to the yacht. If you got the sailboat, or didn't get a boat at all, keep swimming in first person on top of the water, go up the ladder, and start the cutscene. Start aiming and shoot at both of the enemies. Once they are dead, get your phone up and ready to call a taxi. After Michael finishes talking, start calling a taxi.
Take a deep breath, baby, it's okay. I'm taking you back to your brother.
Once you touch the yellow dot, skip the call or close it to immediately start the cutscene. Now, similar to complications, we are going to load an autosave, but this time, let's explain an extra detail about this replay warp. Before starting the mission Chop, we set up a replay warp inside a vehicle so that we are placed inside it after loading the save. Remember before friend request that we set up the replay warp on foot. This time, if we load the autosave to make use of the replay warp, because we did the setup on foot, the game will just teleport us directly to the safe house without the need to press anything during the load. This only works with loading autosaves and also despawns any missions at the safe house. As soon as the game finishes loading, hold the phone up and while going up the stairs, hang out with Franklin, equip a suit, and then switch to Franklin. Switch back to Michael. This is also a good moment to put your phone into sleep mode, so we don't receive any phone calls and prevent random events from spawning. Drive in the direction to the garment factory. Hug the wall while going up the stairs in first person to go faster.
Garment factory. I needed a job that didn't require me to do anything apart from paying taxes. Okay, listen.
Take this opportunity to break the driver's side window by quickly aiming your gun to the left. We're going to make use of this later.
Your FIB buddies, they know you're back in business?
FIB buddies? What are you talking about?
I checked out the WPP thing. Doesn't look like any WITSEC program I'm aware of. Well, for starters, they don't put witnesses up in multi-million-dollar mansions in Rockford Hills.
No, maybe they thought this would be the best cover.
And most witnesses don't transfer five-figure sums into a particular FIB agent's bank account every month. Of course, the money gets moved around and washed through a number of fronts, but the trail is there. Deposits and withdrawals, the same sum every month. Agent Dave Norton, white, middle-aged divorcee, unremarkable career, except for one incident, a shooting.
Drift and park your car in a way that blocks the driver door with the palm tree. This way you will be able to warp in and out of the vehicle. When you get close to the light post, go into third person and jump to skip the forced walking. Enter the jewelry store and take a picture looking in the same direction that you're watching, taking a photo of everything we need at once. If you get the default Lester dialogue, starting with, "We need pictures of," tap power to delay it and walk in the direction towards the store attendant. After skipping the cutscene, you can lower your FPS to 30 and spam jump. If you hit the frame, you will jump and quickly leave the store. Run in first person, and looking in the direction to your vehicle, spam F. If you blocked the driver door, you will be able to warp into the vehicle from far away. Drive to the construction site, and similarly to the palm tree, you can block the passenger door by using these boxes. This is a bit harder to do since the boxes are fragile. Jump twice, then go into first person to go up the stairs faster. While going up any ladder in the game, be in third person because the animation is faster. For the second ladder, you can just jump as it is small enough to climb. While going up, pull up your gun and aim so you can quickly turn around and not fall in the hole. Be careful while doing this climb, because if you accidentally attempt to climb the wall on your right instead, the game will pull your camera to the right and you may fall off the building.
Hey, I see the vents.
Yeah, I'm looking at the relay.
Jump from this wall onto the first box to save time climbing down and up.
Highest point is on the northwest side.
To go down faster, we have two options, the safer option and the faster option.
That's the shot.
The safer option. You fall down onto this balcony, go up the stone pillar, and just fall. You will lose a little amount of health. Always remember to hide your gun, otherwise you're going to fail the mission.
Will do.
Looks good. Okay, that'll do.
For the faster option, get in this position, cap your F to 60 for a more consistent ragdoll, aim your gun, and combat roll to the roof below. When you touch the lower roof, hold W and D so you fall down the street. While falling, hide your gun by pressing tab, otherwise you will mission fail. Be aware that this method could hurt your health more.
Looks good. Okay, that'll do. Now come back to me before someone spots you up there.
Go to your vehicle and drive back to the garment factory.
I'm gonna be living in style off my work, and she'll be teaching.
Here, take your glasses back.
Let's go back to the garment factory. I called ahead and told him to start setting up the information.
So, what did you see?
Nothing that'll cause undue complications.
Yeah, it looked like a simple setup. Cameras broadcasting to a remote server.
Jump onto the highway and follow the path.
He won't want to die for rich assholes who rub his nose in it.
Good. Alarm system's linked to the door lock. We'll get a good window. Someone talented hacks it.
Anything else?
Well, the more valuable merchandise is in the cabinets in the center of the store, by the register, so I'd start there. The glass in the cabinets wasn't bulletproof, means you can smash them easy enough, but the stones will be in the safe.
If the train is coming, you can get speed going out of the sewer to jump over the parked train and not get blocked.
That's an okay score.
At the factory, dive out of the car to end whatever dialogue is currently playing. For the planning board, just spam left mouse and enter, and for the heist, select the loud version with the up arrow key. Get out of the garment factory, get into your car. When the notification for director mode shows up, start counting to 24 seconds, while also skipping the mission passed screen, pulling your phone up, and getting into the car as normal, as this will block any unnecessary text messages, letting only the Lester message about the Carbine Rifles to arrive first. Drive down the tunnel and park at the highway. While driving to the highway, switch to first person. Once the 24 seconds passes, hold right click to put your phone down and immediately start aiming, so Michael doesn't start calling Franklin, which will also block the text. Once the Lester text about the Carbine Rifles arrives, stop aiming, close the call to Franklin, and park your car forward like the one in the video. Shoot once and run back with tab movement while the van is getting closer. Once the van is close enough, shoot at the ground so the car stops, then shoot and kill 3 of the passenger cops. But shoot the last cop on the body twice to make him fall without dying. While driving away, kill the last cop, as this will make the cops lose sight of you faster. Drive in the direction to the garment factory using the same route as you took to go to the highway and hugging this left wall as you drive through to the grass. If you went fast enough, cops will lose you the moment you go onto the grass. But if you get seen again, you can park your driver door next to a bush, get out and in of the vehicle so you can get a permanent black arrow, meaning that cops will forget what your car looks like as soon as you're out of their cone of vision. Park the van in the tunnel next to the garment factory. Wait for the cops to go away and spam right click to immediately close the call from Lester.
All right.
Jump twice to skip the forced walking and get into the van.
You're in the truck with the bikes, everyone else with me.
Honk so the crew starts running,
Franklin's driving.
even though this is the only place in the game that this happens. While they're coming, reverse the back of the vehicle towards the garment factory, making sure not to reverse into Michael. Once everyone is inside, follow the path to the jewel store, the same one as we took in casing. At the bridge, you want to power on curbs a few times to gain speed and shift the gears up. The reason for this is that at the end of the bridge there is a specific brake boost that you can only take if you have high enough speed and the car is in 5th gear. Getting that brake boost gives you nice early speed for the rest of the drive and makes future brake boosts easier. From this point forward, you have 2 options of the escape section that you need to decide now. The order of which jewelry case you need to steal is different for each. If you're going for the safer but slower escape, here is an image of the order that you should break the cases. Always try to shoot the glass before you get to the cases, skipping the cutscene of breaking the glass yourself. First, get the front 2 cases. Then one on the right, one in the back, and the last 2 behind the store attendant.
Hey, we got more time to clean these people out. Let's do it.
120 remaining.
While going out, it is very important for you to wait for this little glitched movement of the bike as Franklin gets off. Otherwise, you will get a strange bug at the end of the mission costing you some time.
No cops in the area.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Get in. Lester's around the corner.
Don't tell my wife I got.
So for the last time, move it.
Go, go, go!
Stay on me. Across here. Let's go.
Let's move.
The safe option for the escape is to follow the crew from the surface, mimicking their route. Do a slow U-turn here to not outdistance the crew, then go back to the highway.
Keep going through the mud. Bike should be able to handle it. At least we got the right bike for this ground. That was a good call. I studied the route and I'm not an idiot. These are the best bikes for the terrain. Down the corridor.
Jump over the wall, down to the sewers, and drive to the tunnel.
We should start climbing toward the surface. This is the home straight. If the truck's in the Ellis River, then we're okay.
Hang in there, boys!
For this part of the escape, because you took the safest option following the crew, you need to be careful with your speed.
Got bull bars on the truck. I'll make short work of these cops.
Not much I can do from this bike. Take
If you go too fast, you will fail the mission for abandoning the crew. You should be fine if you go full speed, but just let go of W for 2 to 3 seconds right here.
This don't look so good. Man, ram the rollers, dawg.
Also note that if you brush against any of the bikes with the truck at any point, you will immediately mission fail.
Keep going.
I could have got out of the truck before we attacked a convoy of cops.
Shit! Hey, wrong rollers. We're running out of river, man. You gotta get these cops off us.
Now let's talk about the fastest route. If you want to use the fastest escape route, you need to collect the cases in this order. Immediately break every glass case shown in red, the 4 cases by the entrance, and all on the back wall. While going for the first glass case, also shoot and break the last cases behind the store attendant. We need all of these broken so that the gunman only prioritizes getting the high value jewelry, allowing you to only need to collect 5 cases as the player instead of 6. Collect the first 2 front cases. The manager will appear from the door on the left. Shoot her so your gunman doesn't waste time talking to her. Collect the right case. And lastly, the 2 cases from behind the store attendant. Be aware that you don't want to touch your gunman, otherwise he will stop moving. Because we are getting an intentional mission fail later, we don't need to care about Franklin getting off the bike.
Let's go, come on! Stay on me, across here. Let's go! Come on!
While we look at our crew, you are never going to mission fail, no matter the distance you go from them. We can take advantage of this to take an alternative route on the highway that intentionally outdistances the crew. You can choose to either hold aim or use the focus system by pressing R. Be careful, as random cars can still spawn and hit you, so try and keep as close as you can to the wall. Once you get past this light post, turn right and do a small wheelie so you can jump down to the sewers. Around this area, the game is going to try to move your camera if you are using the focus system. Start aiming so your camera does not move. Arriving at the trigger inside the tunnel, the game is going to mission fail. Don't worry, as the checkpoint has already been set and we'll skip forward to the final chase sequence. If you did look back strat, since we're driving a truck, we can make use of the 99% acceleration strat to go faster. Press and hold brake and handbrake for a short moment to shift the truck down to first gear. Now follow the same route and make sure not to hit your crew.
Shoot if I have to. Tell me if I'm needed.
I'm just gonna keep driving. Hey, man, more cops. Damn, dog, this is it. This bike gonna give out. We're running out of river, man. You gotta get these cops off us. A couple more shots and these bikes is done.
Looks clear to me. Fine work, boss.
All right, we're clear of the cops.
Regardless of which strat you used with the bike, you can use the 99% strat here to gather the crew and drive to the garage to finish the run.
Lester's around the corner at the lockup.
Since your truck is going faster than normal here, make sure to not lose control and crash into Lester.
You were gonna be stuck under a cop car. There gotta be more dudes waiting around that way. We did not just get away with that shit, did we?
You know what? I think we did.
Once the mission passed screen shows up, congratulations, the run is over. You did it! This is the end of the first tutorial. You can now start doing runs of Trevor %. If you want more advanced strats that are used for world record, you can check the advanced video, which will be linked in the description. In the next segment, we will teach you about the second segment, Countryside. Don't leave speedrunning questions in the comments of this video. Remember that the ideal place is the GTA 5 speedrunning Discord. Leave a like, and happy speedrunning!